All right, what's up, you guys? We got Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson here. And both these girls are pretty good fighters. You know, Waterson is well-rounded and whatnot, and she's kind of a company favorite type of girl. She's a submission master. She's going to be looking for the quick sub and to get out of there. She does have hands, and she does have kicks, and she uses that well, you know. But she has been KO'd before, and Rodriguez is looking good. She's physically bigger by 3 inches tall, 3 inches of reach, and 1 year youth. And, you know, she dropped Reboss. She has good cardio, but she can be put on her back. And that's the one thing that worries me about Rodriguez. Because if Waterson can find a way to just jump on her and spam, you know, taking her down, it's going to be a long night for Rodriguez in that way, I think. But I could be totally wrong on that one. And just judging by the better hands, and I think being the bigger girl, so that's going to make her less susceptible to the takedown, I'm going to go with Rodriguez on this one. And speaking of, Rodriguez has positive striking. She's more accurate, got better defense than Waterson, who has negative striking, and you guys know how I feel about that. All right, in the next fight, we got Ben Rothwell versus Felipe Linz. And, you know, we've seen Ben Rothwell fight for a long time. He's been around. He's going to have the better volume than Felipe here. Felipe looked a lot bigger when he was in other division or other organizations and stuff. And now I think he's off of steroids and kind of having that melt in his body effect. But he is going to be 4 years younger than Rothwell here. He is going to have the worst chin, though. I believe this dude's been knocked out several times. And Ben Rothwell has this unorthodox style. He mixes up the front kick and whatnot. He's going to have the better volume. So I think he could catch Felipe slipping here and definitely win the decision, if not KO him. Because Felipe's a little undersized now that he's off these roids. And Rothwell is, you know, he's a heavyweight. And he hasn't been KO'd in 10 years against these other heavyweights. So what's Felipe going to do, really? You know, I mean, like I said, Ben has all the physical, 3 inches height, 2 inches of reach, and the volume. I think it's just going to be too much for Felipe. All right, the next fight, we got Amanda Reboss versus Angela Hill. Oh, and on Ben and Felipe, they both have about the same negative striking. But Ben is going to have the takedown and submission and possibly, you know, the scramble better than Linz does. All right, the next fight, we got Amanda Reboss versus Angela Hill. And I've been liking what I see out of Amanda Reboss, but she's so chinny. She's just chinny. Like, if she had a better chin, if she had Angela Hill's chin, she'd be a great fighter. But that's the X factor for her in a negative way. And Angela Hill's been there a long time. She has a great chin. She can be subbed. And this girl gets robbed, man. This girl gets robbed like Masvidal does, you know? And she does have good volume, though. She's a well-rounded fighter. As a journeywoman, she's come up, and she's a late bloomer. You know, she's done really well. Her volume is through the roof. It's better than Kai Kamaka's last week, and he had really high volume. Out of her last 5 fights, it's 83.2. So she's looking to swing, you know. And she could win a decision based on pure activity. But Amanda Reboss, she's going to have the 1.5 reach advantage here and the 9-year youth advantage. And I think she's the better fighter, I should say, in this one. And I'm going to go with Reboss. But I definitely think Angela Hill would win if there was 10 fights, she'd win some of them. You know what I mean? All right, the next fight. And on that one, Reboss has 2.47 striking compared to 0.68 striking differential of Angela Hill. So Reboss has more than double her striking. And the takedown and submission is better as well. So Reboss. Let's hope her chin holds up on this one. In the next one, we got Neil Magny versus Geoff or Jeff Neal. And Neil Magny, he's a tall, lanky dude. He knows how to use it. He's been there a while, and he's got high fight IQ to the point where he's even a coach and stuff like that, and probably a decent coach. And if this goes to decision, I got Magny all day here, just making it simple. He does have less volume than Neil does, and he doesn't have the KO strength as well. But I think he can mix it up a little bit better as a mixed martial artist and find a way to win. But Neil does have a 3-year youth advantage. But like I said, Neil has that length and it's going to be a 4-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage, and that's pretty significant. That's like a whole nother weight class almost, you know, besides the muscle. So I'm going to go Magny by decision in this one. All right, we got Diego Fiera versus Gregor Gillespie in the next one. And Diego's a beast, man. Diego is a beast. I like the Brad Riddell matchup way better for Gregor because I'm high on Gregor for the right matchups, but this matchup is pretty brutal for him, you know what I mean? Diego's going to have the higher volume in this fight. And, man, I keep forgetting to tell you guys, in the Magny fight, he's going to have the better striking differential and the takedown and submission as well. I should have mentioned that. Sorry to keep going back. In this fight, Diego versus Gregor, like I said, Diego's going to have the better volume here. He's an active beast, and he's only lost to Beneil and Dustin, man. That's a record right there. 17-3, and your only losses are 2 to Beneil and 1 to Dustin. And I think 1 was a split, if not both, to Beneil. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. This dude is a beast, okay? If there was ever an underdog, if you value underdog, it's right here. And versus Gregor Gillespie, who's going to have the 2-year youth advantage here. He's going to have the lower volume, but he's just got that world-class wrestling, which really opens up his hands as well. And I think that could be a factor in this fight. I think Diego is definitely the better striker. But if Gregor mixes in all the martial arts, then I think that he could win this fight. So I'm going to go with Gillespie by mixing it up. All right, in the last main event fight we got Hawes versus Dawkins. And, you know, Hawes, we saw him go beast mode on that guy last fight. And I think he's been going beast mode ever since he got head kick knocked out by Julian Marquez, Miley Cyrus's husband. And in this fight, he's taken on Kyle Dawkins, who's a great fighter. He kind of looked weak in that Brendan Allen fight. He looked like he wanted to give up. But you know what? He came back. And I think that shows a lot out of a guy who's like on the verge of quitting. And then he said, you know what? F this shit. I'm going to fight back. And he nearly won. He nearly won that fight, honestly. He's always got the darts in his back pocket. And he's got a good record. And, you know, if Phil Haas can get caught by Julian Marquez, I think he can get caught by Kyle Dawkins here. Because Dawkins ain't no joke either. And he's a long dude. He's going to be the longer guy in here. So we got the long guy versus, with the more martial arts versus the power guy. I'm going to go with Kyle Dawkins in this one. And that does it for the main event. All right, what's up, y'all? We got the prelims. We got Ryan Benoit versus Zaruk Adashev. And these guys are both bums, dude. Like, what the hell? The worst bum is Zaruk, according to the record, according to the size, according to whatever, intuition. Fuck that guy. Okay, I'm just going to go with Ryan on this one. He hasn't lost by KO, and maybe he's got a chin, but he sucks at fighting, so he'll just Homer Simpson his way into a win and be the bigger guy in there. So I'm going to go with Ryan in this one. All right, in the next fight, we got Maurice Green versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. And we've seen both of these guys fight a couple times. And Maurice Green, he's just a big, bad fighter. You know, he relies on his size. He's got low volume. I mean, he's just like out there like acting like he's just waiting for the wind to come to him, and he doesn't do anything. Like it'd be like in baseball, just not swinging. You know what I mean? At the perfect pitches every time. And then the ball hits you, and then he gets on first, and that's how he fucking wins. But he's got a 7-inch reach advantage, a 6-inch height advantage, and a 1-year youth advantage. So he better use it, man. He's got more volume here. He's got the negative striking, which sucks, you know. And I don't know. Rogerio de Lima is the better striker here. He's just a smaller, fatter, out of shape, unmotivated dude. So is that unmotivation going to match up with Maurice's trying barely bumness? Like, who's going to win? I'm just going to go with Green based on motivation and size. That's about it. Green. All right, in the next one, we got Christian Aguilera versus Carlson Harris. And we don't know anything about Harris, and I didn't watch one fight on him. But I saw it looks like he's well-rounded, and this is his debut against a guy who's been there before and can KO people, but who's chinny. So he's like a little glass cannon who's never going to win anything in the UFC. Pretty bad record. So they're just kind of bottom-feeding these two against each other. I'm going to go with the guy that's been there before and Christian Aguilera. All right, in the next fight, we got, this one's exciting. We got Tafon Nkukwi versus Jun Young Park. Oh my God. And out of Tafon, you know, he kind of seems like a rising star. You know, he's going to have the 4-year youth advantage, the 2-inch height advantage, the 4-inch reach advantage, and possibly double the volume in this fight. You know, sometimes he comes out throwing a lot, sometimes he doesn't have to throw a lot because he's so powerful, Tafon. But the thing that Park does have, he can mix it up. He's got good striking as well. And mixing in that takedown could definitely mess with Tafon since he's never been in that much trouble with that before. But I think the hands of Tafon and just his strength, I don't think Park is going to be able to do much against him, honestly. He's a big 185er, honestly. I wonder what Tafon walks around at, man. That's a big dude. So let's go with Tafon. All right, in the next fight, we got Mike Trisano versus Ludovic Klein. And Klein is the younger guy by 3 years, and he's going to have the 1-inch reach advantage. And I see a star in this guy as well. You know, he might be on the prelim, the earliest prelim, but this dude's pretty badass. I see a star in the rising on this guy. Good record, 17-2. Great striking. I'm not sure about on the ground as much, but Mike Trisano is, he's facing Mike Trisano here, and Mike Trisano is going to be the taller dude by 4 inches and have the volume and submission threat against him. But I think Klein's just going to outpower him and be able to knock him out for sure. So I'm going to go with Klein in that one. All right, you guys, that's it. Let's win some money.